Hey anime fans, welcome to a very evil episode of Thomas's Prerogative right here on the Shaft Podcast Network. That's right, today I'm going to be deliciously evil as we continue with Final Fantasy Month. Because today I'm covering probably one of the worst games in the Final Fantasy series. What game might that be? Well, let's open Pandora's box and see, shall we? What possible evil incarnation could it possibly be? Well, it would be Final Fantasy XII for the PS2. Now, why is this game so ridiculously horrible? Well, let's find out, shall we? Now, I'm going to start with gameplay and leave story for last, because I have some things to say about that. But the gameplay takes in real time, very much like World of Warcraft, and you'll hear World of Warcraft similarities a lot in this review, where as you build up CP points for your, or should I say grid points for your grid, you can unlock things. Not that, but you still have to go to a shop to use them. Now, they also have eliminated random encounters with being on a wide battlefield, because pretty much every map is a wide battlefield where you can see the animals, and if you want to fight one, you can go up and fight it, and if not, you can go around it. Now, I'll take issue with each one of these. First, the random encounters. I think random encounters have gotten a bad name over the years. I always enjoyed them. I think the reason that they got a bad name is because there's a lot of people that just zip through the game. They don't micromanage. They don't play an RPG the way RPGs should have played, because they play them pretty much like they play God of War. Not that there's anything wrong with God of War, because I personally enjoy God of War. I'm just using that as an example. But or should I say, World of Warcraft. They just want to zip through. They want to team with a bunch of players. They want an MMO. And that's not what Final Fantasy is, or at least the story-based games. So that really, that's really what this was built for those World of Warcraft players who wanted that. The real-time sort of battle format I enjoy, because it's built on a system of gambits where you can take control of each individual player, have what you want them to do, but at the same time you can also set gambits so you don't have to constantly go through the menu and tell them what to do. This could have worked, but when you have a lot of battles that are also built upon distance, if they have a certain weapon, or for that matter, most of the weapons don't give that distance. If you have a player that you want purely as a magic user with a staff, there's really no gambit to have them stay out of harm's way. They get right up in harm's way. And really, it's no use to just give them a staff, as you should just give them a physical attack weapon. So that didn't work. And also the grid system, as I alluded to before, even if you unlock the powerful level 8 black magic with Flare and Scathe, you still have to wait till damn near the end of the game to get that magic. And me personally, that made me mad. Because if I spent all that time level grinding to get that unlocked, I should get the magic. A lot of people were frustrated for that. But then again, it's also a different style. So I can somewhat forgive it. Then there's the music. This music, unlike past, there's really nothing. I mean, there's a few memorable themes, the opening theme, the ending theme. And there's some good themes here and there, but overall, this is not a Final Fantasy soundtrack I would go out to try to get. So that's strike 2. But again, just like the gameplay, not something I would have had an issue with if the story was good. With that being said, let's get to story. And this is strike 3. The story sucks. Plain and simple. Now, I understand the story was a throwback to, 1, 2, and 3, where it was more political, more about just a band of strangers getting together and saving the world. And afterwards just taking on their merry way, yada, yada, yada. That boring type of stuff. The problem is, a majority of Final Fantasy fans today are not those old Final Fantasy fans who've done nothing but moan and complain. They're all playing World of Warcraft. Again, World of Warcraft similarities. But they are fans like me that came in with 7 and 8, 9 and 10. And the reason we loved Final Fantasy so much was the story and the interaction between the characters. And you don't have that here. Even though these group of strangers have band together and are supposedly friends at the end of the game, they seem so distant from each other. And people might say, well, that's the voice acting, but it's not just the voice acting. It's also in the movements of the characters on screen. And another thing is, there's a real difficulty trying to keep characters when you have this type of graphical power from not seeming like they have feelings for each other. And that's what they tried to do because, again, they wanted to keep it political. But I'll give you a perfect instance. Spoiler for those who haven't played it. And if you haven't, where have you been? And that is, throughout the game, Ash, the main female lead, sees a ghost of her former husband. And for a long time, the only person who can see it is Vaughn, who at the same time also had somebody who died around the same time as her husband defending Damascus. Now, with that being said, halfway through the game, Vaughn stops seeing her husband or seeing her ghost with her, and Bathir, the Sky Pirate, does, which leads to a lot of fangirls saying that Bathir was the main hero, and that Vaughn was not Vaughn, but I know a lot of them say Vaughn was in love with him, but Ash was in love with him, and, of course, because we would all give up a Playboy bunny girl for a queen. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Which, again, leads to the point. This game was not made for Final Fantasy fans like me, or the ones that are buying the game. They were made for World of Warcraft fans, those old Final Fantasy fans that are trying to get back, who've done nothing but moan and complain about the story. And their real complaint, which they never say, is that there's too much romance in their story. Because we can't like any story that has romance because that might mean somebody might confuse our sexual orientation. Because, it's so horrible when those jocks who don't care about anybody do that. It's just impossible just to ignore them. So, that's the real issue. And if you need any more proof of that, look at the character designs of the female characters. Now, I have no issue with sexy characters, but just look at the designs. Pinello in the latex bodysuit. Ash is, one gust of wind and the secret's out. And of course, as I said before, Fran, the literal envision of Hugh Hefner's Playboy Bunny Girl. Furry edition. With all this being said, this is why I think that Final Fantasy XII is the most horrible game in the series. And thankfully, Square Enix learned from its lesson and rewarded us by apologizing with Final Fantasy XIII, which I will be reviewing next week. So, thanks for watching this evil edition of Thomas's Prerogative. That's all for this week. So until next time, anime fans, peace.